Welcome back. This is part 3 of knife review there. Last time we left off, I was talking about this one. I rated this a 10 for a hunting. There, because this is a good knife. There. Okay, moving on on this knife. There, for survival in the bush, I'll rate this as 6. Because I wouldn't want to use this knife, a good knife, for hunting. If you have a knife like this out in the bush hunting, I would recommend carry one of these for survival uses purpose, or one of these. Or if you're just hiking, carry one of these. But this one there won't be that good for survival, because I wouldn't want to use it on tree. You'll wreck your knife, you'll dull your knife, unless you have a sharpening stone. Most likely, there you won't be carrying a big sharpening stone to put an edge on this. There, moving on, for round town purposes, I'll rate this a 3, because I wouldn't want to use this. I'd use it if I have to against a person, but I wouldn't, because this is not a knife I would be carrying around town on me. This knife. This is a good knife. For hunting, I rate it a 9. 9 because it would be a 10 if it had straps, some way to hold these into the blade, because I had these knives fall out of here before. 9, it would be a 7 if it didn't have this knife with it for gutting the deer, helping to cut the deer without gutting the guts, because this knife is just a straight edge fixed blade knife. It's good. You could sharpen this end too there, like if you're going to use it for defense against an animal, but right now I'm talking about the hunting part. There, hunting there, there's a good knife there. It's good steel, strong steel. You'd be able to cut through a rib cage with it without worrying snap. Just don't hit anything on the top of this knife. Knives are not made to be hammered on. If you can't cut through the rib cage with this, find an axe or bring a saw with you, a bone saw or some type of fold-up saw for cutting the rib cage. If it's a small enough deer, this will cut the rib cage. Elk, moose, a big buck deer that's about a 300-pound body, this won't cut for the rib cage. There on the gristle on the rib cage. There. And for survival in the bush, I'll rate it same as the other knife, a 6, because this is a knife I wouldn't want used for survival in the bush. Even if I have this knife on me out hunting, I always carry this type of knives. This knife for defense against an animal is fast to get out of the sleeve. Because, I forgot one rating on this one for defense of an animal. I rated a 3 because it won't be that good because the gut hook. You get an animal there, a 3, a 6. Let's make it for 7 for defense of an animal. Because this knife has got straight edge fixed blade. It go in and out. It's long enough to do damage. You can even get in here a good easy. Get the throat cut or into the back of the head if you can. Like I said before in the previous video, I wouldn't recommend going look for a fight with an animal just to test out a knife. There. And for round town purposes, against an attacker, for another human attacker, there, I wouldn't use this knife because the blade length. It would be an awesome knife for that. because straight edge. You can sharpen this end to a razor part so you can go both ways without turning your knife. You don't have to rotate your knife, you just go back and forth. Cut. But the knife blade's a little long for that to be carrying around most towns. If it's legal, if you're allowed, I recommend use this knife only thing. You have to have on a belt. You can get longer versions, a little longer than these with longer blades. If you're allowed longer blades than what this one is, buy the longer blade. Because it folds up, fits in your pocket. This knife, you have to keep on your belt. Like I said before, they can fall out. Times if you're walking, you have to jump down a log. It happens to some way there, it'll get hooked, it'll come out of the sleeve. I always carry this knife there on my belt, but I'm always careful. I lost these knives before, and luckily I found them. Because I noticed them fall out. One of these times, one of these knives is going to fall out on me, and I won't notice it. And I'll lose it, I won't find it. That's a $500, $600 knife. This knife was bought about 25 years ago. And nowadays, this knife might be worth, because its antler might be worth up to close to $1,000. So I wouldn't want to lose this knife. Most of the time now I have this knife, I usually use this knife for hunting. Just keep this one in the vehicles, so I have in case this knife there something happens there, happens to break somehow. I always have this knife to finish the job, because I don't want to lose this knife. This knife there, I just got it there. It's good steel, holding edge. It's a good value. Okay, well, nice to have to rate. Oh yeah, I finished that. Okay, this should wrap up the segment on knives there, and I would like to wish you all happy hunting, fishing, and be safe out in the bush. And remember, I'm not responsible for any of your actions. Check with the law. See which knife, if you're going to carry it in town for self-defense, check with the law and see if it's legal. I don't want no comment saying, the knives I showed you, you can't carry around town. Don't come crying to me because of that. I showed you. Check with the law before you buy it. Don't go buy one and find out it's illegal to carry around town. Because I've heard of people doing this before. I know some people there that do these same type of videos, and they had this happen too. Some guy went out there, said they watched his video, and he went and bought off with this knife. Found out it's illegal in his state to carry it around on him unless he's out the state there. And he went crying there and says, the knife you told me about was legal. There. Just don't come crying to me if you buy like this knife, most likely this knife there. It's a survival knife. Most likely you'll be able to get it. But still, check out with the law. See if you can. Goodbye, and be safe.